Hey, y'all, we are back here on Path, season 2. I'm so excited. Your host, Jael Benjamin, but I'm more excited to be hosting our special guest, Myles Bullock.
Thank you.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? Blessed, black, highly favored, and we're moving how we supposed to.
I love it.
Glad to be here.
Actor, producer, director, so many hats. But I want to know, like, how your journey from LA, like, how did you journey being from LA and then also like having success and like getting into the industry in LA? Like,
well, it's actually wild. I actually made my way around. So I actually left LA to come back.
Ooh.
So it started in undergrad. I didn't know that I was gonna be an actor or even wanted to pursue acting or was even good at acting or what acting even was until my sophomore year of college. And I kind of stumbled into a play. And then after I did the play, people were like, hey man, you're actually kind of good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh really? Okay. Well, then I was like, well, let me see why I'm good. Let me understand why I'm good. So then I changed my major. I started in 2 dramatic arts. I started taking acting classes there at Fresno State University, Central California. And it just started taking off. I started winning collegiate acting competitions, and I started getting scholarships to go to acting programs, and got more and more interested. And then I took that interest and that desire and that curiosity and got my master's in acting from University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. So I spent 3 years out there, and then when I graduated in 2017, came back out here, and then got it going.
So you made a pivot outside, and then pivoted back inside of the city.
Yeah.
So I'm curious then, what did you want to be before you decided you want to be an actor?
Well, I knew I was going to be in the NFL, even though I was very injury prone. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought I was going to get there when I could hardly get up the stairs without breaking my toe. So I thought I was going to be an athlete. I was also very interested in architecture, and I was really good at drawing. So I was like, well, maybe I can be an architect. And I love houses. I love house design and things of that nature. But then I figured out how much math went into that.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I won't be doing that, player. I'll just be looking at the homes. But yeah, I won't be designing them. But so I learned that really quickly. And then I thought that maybe I was going to go into broadcast journalism.
Okay.
And because I was very interested in sports, I thought that I was articulate. I was like, well, maybe I could be in front of the camera talking about some sports, being like Stephen A. Smith. But I'm gonna let him do that. And then just God put me where I was supposed to be.
Yeah. If you had to share some words to somebody who's in college right now and they're thinking about changing their major, and you know, there's so much pressure around that. Like people are like, and once you committed, you got like 2 more years, you need to just finish and whatnot. What are some of the words you would share with that student?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do what you gotta do and do what you feel like you're called to do. I feel very strongly that you are where you're supposed to be, and that as long as you listen to your passion, that you'll be in a good place. And so I followed my passion, and I prayed to God about it. I spoke to the universe about it, and it kind of showed me that I was meant to follow this path. So I would say do that. Don't worry about time, because time is a mental construct, and also you're gonna be here anyway. So you might as well do it. Yeah. And honestly, we usually spend more time thinking about stuff than actually doing things. So I would say stop thinking and start doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So you said you went undergrad, right, studying acting, like once you changed your major. But then you also went on to get a master's, right? Yeah. So how important is the study process? Like, how did your study process change, and how important is it to study your craft, right?
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, at the beginnings of my acting, people told me I was good, but I didn't really know why. I didn't know why I was good. I didn't know how to be good. I didn't know what about me was the rich stuff that, you know, people were drawn to on stage. So I thought that I would go to graduate school to get some tools for my tool belt. And, you know, I was really able to go there and establish an understanding of what's required to build a character, to have longevity in a character, to have an arc and understanding of the story, to have facility of language, to have understanding of circumstance, and it also helped me grow my sense of empathy, which I think is very important as an artist. I think being empathetic can really, really, really be valuable for you. Yeah. So it just really helped me understand like who I was internally as a human at the bare roots and as an artist. And I was able to see like, okay, these are the things that are compelling. These are the things that people want to see. And I was able to bring it to like an academic standpoint. I was able to bring my raw talent with my academic knowledge, and boom. And so it allows me to feel like I can literally act. There's no character I can't do. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
What does studying look like now outside of, the formal education route?
It looks like just living.
Okay.
So one of the worst questions you get as an actor is what's next, right? Like you'll do a project and it'll be on TV or be on something. People will watch it and be like, man, this is so great. So what's next? What you gonna do now? I'm like, oh man, I don't know. You know what I mean? And they're like, so what are you working on next? And I always say, well, myself.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing you can do as an actor, the best studying you can do is live richly. Mm-hmm. Like get out there, experience things, experience people. Yeah. Most actors have done a lot of weird jobs or like a lot of jobs just like you kind of dip your hand in everything because it's about experience.
Yeah.
And as an actor, you are literally a mirror of experience. So how are you going to mirror something that you don't have? Mm-hmm. So you have to get out there and live in order to then reflect life. That's what we're trying to do.
Now you open the door. What is the weirdest job or thing that you've done that you feel comfortable sharing?
Okay. Well, listen.
It might be weird to somebody else, but it's not weird.
This is not something that I have necessarily done.
Okay.
This is not something I have necessarily done, but I do know a few people. I do know a few people that they did professional cuddling.
What? Explain. Professional. You know what I mean?
Professional cuddling. So people pay them to cuddle. I think it's by 15-minute increments.
Got it.
So if you want more details, I'm sure you can look it up. I don't know if it's still a business, but I know for a second that I think this was pre-pandemic because now nobody's just gonna come and cuddle with you.
Absolutely.
Because you know what I'm saying, there's all these there's too much stuff moving around now. But beforehand, so this is what so the people, I believe the cuddlers, I think there's the cuddlers and the cuddlies, right? The cuddlies would be the people that pay for your cuddling services.
Absolutely.
So then I think everybody has to go through like background checks and stuff like that. And then like you have to, but like as the cuddler, right, who, you have a profile. You kind of give like your body composition because people want to know what type of human they're gonna be cuddling with. Right. You know what I mean? So so you gotta let them know like, are you thicker, you tall, you know what I'm saying? You light, you dark, your skin soft, ashy, what you feel like, you know what I mean? And then you say like, okay, now here are the stipulations of the cuddling. I'll cuddle, we need a pillow in between, or some people just want to talk. It's getting really weird. I'm gonna stop discussing it.
You bring up some good points, right? Because connecting with people, right? Yeah. You have to meet some people where they are, right?
You really do. And but so, I'm not meeting you in your bed. That's crazy, though.
Can you talk about somebody who really met you where you were and encouraged you and showed you that empathy that you said was important to have?
So many people. The most recent job that stands out to me was a show I did called BMF. And TASHA SMITH was the director of the first 2 episodes of the series. And so when I got the part for that, one, I didn't audition for the show. So when I got the call for it, I didn't really know any details about like who my character was or what was required of him or what he did or what was going to happen or whatever.
It was a random number that called you?
I mean, it was my agent.
Oh, okay.
But just like it's a 000 number telling you we have a part for you. No, my agent called me to let me know like, hey, you didn't audition for this, but they decided to put you in this instead. And it was like one of those type of situations. So when I got the role, TASHA SMITH called me because she was going to be directing the pilot. She called me and she was like, so who are you? I said, okay, well, my name is blah, 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 and I did this, blah, blah, blah. And listen, as acting is a very humbling profession.
Absolutely.
It's in the journey. Being humbled is in the journey, because you're told no hundreds of times per year, okay? And you're told yes, maybe once per year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially just in the beginnings. So, you know, I'm still very much so in the beginnings of my career. And Tasha knew that. So when she was talking to me, she was like, listen, your character is this, blah, blah, blah. I just want you to, I know you did theater, right? You did theater, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yes, I did theater, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay, so bring some of these aspects of theater into this character. I want you to see what you can find in this character, in this role, because it's not written this way, so we're going to find it this way. Yeah. Like, okay. So on my first day of filming with her, she let me improvise whatever I wanted to do. So first cut, I do what's written on screen, or what was written on the page or whatever. Yeah. And then after that, she just let me fly a little bit. And then when I did, they saw what I brought. And then that set the standard for my character, in which 85 to 90% of everything I said on that show I made up. But that was all because Tasha met me where I was at. She saw my capacity. We had the conversation. She understood what I was comfortable with, what I could bring, the tools that I had. Yeah. And she was like, I'm gonna meet you here. I'm gonna give you this allowance. And without that, I wouldn't have had the impact on that show that I did. So.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing when people believe in you, sometimes even more than you believe in yourself.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Because that is the thing that pushes you forward on that path.
It is.
A lot. How are you intentional about connecting with people who from LA and they're trying to get into acting, right? Like men who are from here. It's like, hey, I'm trying to, like, I know you're trying to get it.
Yeah.
What spaces are you putting yourself in with that intentionality to like share some of that wisdom?
Well, I mean, spaces.
Paths.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, spaces like these.
Yeah.
Literally, majority of my friends are in the creative space, are in the creative world. So we're all trying to just like break through and find our way in this crazy cog of an industry. So like I always make myself available for all of my peers. Yeah. All the people that feel like they're not my peers but really are. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we have a tendency to put other people's value above ours when we're all like humans, you know what I mean? So I always try to connect with people on a human level as much as possible, no matter how much they think I'm this or that or whatever it is. So I steady try and put myself in spaces where there's fellow creators and fellow artists and there's people that are just like me, just trying to make it, and boom, boom, boom. So I'm very intentional about that. And I'm very intentional about how I speak about the work. Okay. Because I want people to realize that it is work. I think a lot of one of the biggest misunderstandings about acting is that it's a glamorous job. Like, it's actually a really hard job. Like, the hours are crazy. You talk about crazy hours. I'm talking about you waking up at 5 in the morning, get there at 5, and you're not leaving until 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m., and then getting home. And then got to do it the next day, same type of thing, and all those things. But people don't really see that. Or, like I said, the constant sense of rejection that you get as an actor, right? Like, you see the successes, you see what's on, that what made it to the television, but what it took to get there was, whoo, Lord. So, you know, like you spend a lot of time in the darkness just to get a little bit of light, you know, and so that's
half quotable.
Hey, talk about it. So that's what I'm. Most of my creator and all my actor friends and all my creative friends, the first thing I usually ask them is, "How's your mind? How's your mind been? How your thoughts been?" Because that's usually the most detrimental part of us.
What are some things that you're doing to make sure your mental health is good and in check?
Constantly checking in with myself.
Okay.
I made it a habit to think intentionally as much as possible. Okay. So when I do find myself getting into a negative cyclone of thought, I'm able to just back up for a second and kind of detach myself from those thoughts. But that's taken a lot of practice. It's taken a lot of time. First thing I had to do was just realize that I was having negative thoughts. One of the things I noticed that I did that I started doing when I was acting, because when I first joined the theater department at Fresno State, I was very hesitant to call myself an actor until I felt like I deserved it. And I was acting for about 2 years. I had done about like 20 plays before I was able to call myself an actor in my mind. Like I had to go and like win an acting competition. I had to go and like get a couple accolades. I had to like get a couple things to like allow myself to really feel like I deserved that title of actor, because I was just jumping in there.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that people will come up to me after a performance like, "Oh my God, man, that was so great. That was so good. Like, I love what you did." And I would always dim it. I would always dumb it down. I was like, I did all right. Or I thank you, I'm trying. Or like, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll do better next time. And what I didn't realize that I was doing is that I was creating a sense of self-inferiority. Like I was literally giving myself an inferiority complex, because every time that somebody would give me a compliment, I was immediately rejecting it, because I felt like I had to keep myself humble, because I felt like I didn't deserve that sense of, whatever it is. So I had to realize that I had done that to myself for such a long time. And then what it did, it helped me understand why I dealt with rejection so badly, so poorly, and why I went in tend to go in such dark places when I found myself being rejected, is because I didn't feel like I deserved it anyway. Even when I had worked really hard, done so many things, was in rehearsal for 6 weeks before I did this play or whatever it was, but still, like, I felt like I had to humble myself, and I should have been championing myself. And so now I'm really more intentional with how I speak to myself.
That's powerful.
Yeah. Man.
I mean, there's so much I could pull from that, right? Because you've shared some of those key personality traits, right? Outside of just going to acting class and becoming a better actor. Like, it's just certain heart postures you gotta have, right?
For real.
You spoke on empathy, humility. What are 3 other like key personality traits that you feel like are essential to have in this space?
Self-awareness,
Okay.
Self-respect, and integrity. And I think that self-respect and integrity kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So maybe I also say curiosity as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I think all those things will lend itself to you being able to do this freely without having so much pressure or have so much you just don't want to be your worst enemy, man. You just want to get out your way,
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think like those things tend to help me stay out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people don't really speak up and speak out about like mental health, especially as a Black male actor.
Yeah.
How important is it? I'm assuming you have a therapist, but I don't know.
I don't have like a paid for therapist, no.
Hey, we need free resources. We like free on pass. Who are some of those people, or how did you develop those relationships, right? Who help pour into your mental health, mental space?
Well, I think when you open your mind to a certain type of thinking, then it kind of opens other people to come into you that are of that same mind. Yeah. And so as I have done my own work, I have found that my best friends and the people around me were doing the work as well. Yeah. And we were doing the same work without even having spoke about it. Then when we would come together, we were like, "Whoa, you've been going through that?" I was like, "Yeah, dog, you've been doing that?" Like, "Yeah, man." And so, like, very rarely are my friends and I having frivolous conversation. Generally, most of our conversation is dealing with like thoughts and being and triggers and where we want to go, where we want to be, and how to get out of our own way. And so, like, my circle is my therapy. Like, my circle, we are each other's therapy because we are very open to speaking about it. But again, had to practice it, had to lead by example, had to be fearless in explaining yourself and acknowledging that you have these issues and be like, "Hey, man, I'm having this issue right now. You ever had this issue before?" Yeah. And then when it's like, yeah, you're like, "Oh my God, thank you, God." You know what I'm saying? But or if they don't, or just have a listening ear.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then I tend to, my biggest thing in my life also is learning from the people that have done it before me, right? I've always been a big person to like figure out what I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? I tend to learn from people's mistakes. But I also have a few people that I consider mentors that when I do have questions about the industry, or if I find myself like, man, what does this mean? I'll ask them and I'll call them. Look, man, have no shame in asking questions. Ask questions. Like, ask questions about things. Be curious. And then when you're curious, like, the world will open up and give you answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, your tribe and community is super important, right?
Yeah.
Because they kind of set the environment for your greatness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And I'm curious, so this is like a bit of a pivot, but who was the first person you called when you booked BMF?
Oh, all right, so.
And how did that conversation go?
So, okay, so I was actually, so funny. I was actually moving out of my mother's house while I got the call that I got the role for BMF. So I was like in the midst of like packing boxes and stuff. And I was at my mother's house. My little brother was there, and he was sitting on the couch. Him and my little sister were sitting on the couch. And I got off the phone, and as soon as I got off the phone, I ran in the house. I was like, hey, I got it, dog. I got it. He's like, what? I was like, I don't know, but I got it, bro. He was like, and I was like, he's like, what do you mean you don't know? I said, listen, bro. I don't know. I know it's 6 episodes. I know it's with 50 Cent. I know it's in Atlanta. That's all that matters. I'm out there. All right. And so, yeah, so I told the fam, my fam was the first folks that knew. And that's generally how it goes. Like, when you do something good, like, listen, if you're blessed enough to have a parental figure in your life, mama, auntie, grandmama, uncle, daddy, whoever it is, that's generally who you call. If you don't call them, then you usually call your best dog or whatever. But for me, I still got my mom in my life or whatever like that. So usually it's mama first. Mama, you got you know what I'm saying? And then also, you know, like as an actor in the beginnings, like everyone feels like this could be the one. This could be the one to make me the one. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, mommy gets it. Mommy gets it, yeah. Yeah.
And then knowing that everyone feels like it could be the one, right?
Yeah.
What was that transition like from theater to like television and film? Like, what prompted it? What was the curiosity point there?
Well, you know, we all grow up watching TV. Very few of us have grown up watching plays, you know? And so, like, I'm from LA. I know that there's like 5 plays a year in LA, if that. And if there are 5, you only heard about one of them. You get what I mean? So the culture for theater it's just not really rich out here, which is really unfortunate. And so it kind of forces you to have to figure out different avenues to do the craft. And of course, it's every childhood. Listen, when you watch something on TV as a child, you're like, oh my God, being on TV, that's like making it. That's the thing. And so, of course, I wanted to be on television and film. Also, theater does not pay you any money. So, like, you can't pay no bills really off theater. That's really just like a passion craft. And so it's just like when you go to LA, you do television and film. And so, like, that's just what it is, and that's just what it is. But, you know, I read about 1 to 2 plays a month still. I still practice Shakespeare. I still do things that keep me connected to my theater roots, because I really think that as a theater actor, I think you really have a leg up. I think you have. I really do. I really do think you have a leg up, because when you are on stage, there's nothing to save you. There's no cut. There's no stopping. You can't ask for line. There's not going to be another take. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like everything has to happen right there. So you're used to adapting on the spot. You're used to being real. You can be as big as you want. You can be as loud as you want. Yeah. And it really allows you to see your capacity. Television and film is very intimate at times, you know? It's very intimate. The camera's right here. Camera could just be like right here in your face. And you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do as much to get the same story, the same ideal across. So it's just like there's nuances to the games But I'm doing television and film because I have to, in order to feel like I'm really being progressive in this career as an actor. Because a lot of theater actors go unknown for a long time, and they're some of the best actors in the world, and you do not know their name. And it's not all about notoriety, but you want people to know. I mean, listen. If acting was just only about like just doing it, there would be a whole bunch of people acting by themselves in their rooms. You know what I'm saying? But there's not. You know, there's nobody just being like, I'm an actor. I just did a play in my bathroom with myself. You know what I'm saying? No. People are like, listen, I'm an actor. I'm trying to do a play in front of I've been in plays where I was 1,200 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or 1,100 people, or 2,000 people, or 600 people, or 50 people. You know what I mean? But you need that back and forth. And it's the same thing with television and film. When people see your work and they're able to connect with it, depending on what the subject matter is, you might have told a story that somebody's been wishing that they could tell. Or you might have told a story that makes people feel seen. You get? So there's just so many levels that, there's so many reciprocal pieces of love that you get from being an actor that are way outside of like financial and everything like that. It's about the human connection.
Yeah. And I mean, you are for sure being seen. I mean, a little birdie told me that 50 Cent like posted you like 5 times. So I'm just trying to figure out like, what did that feel like?
That was crazy, dog. Listen, man, I'm from LA, you feel me? I was raised in South Central. I was raised in the hood. You know what I mean? When I still remember when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, you know what I'm saying, the album and the movie, and then, you know what I'm saying, watching 50 Cent in The Game and be like, oh, The Game from LA? All right, I'm gonna try and do that too. But I wasn't a gang banger. So I wasn't hard like that. So I wasn't doing all them things. But man, I've grown up watching 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a legend, you know what I mean? And like, you know you're a legend when every type of person knows who you are. Every type of human knows who 50 Cent is. Like you can say 50 Cent to a white person, black person, Hispanic, Asian, Mongolian, it doesn't matter what type of person, like they're gonna know who 50 Cent is. Like, oh, it's your birthday. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they're gonna do, you know? And so like, one, just to work with him was crazy. Like when, and I don't know, Chris is up in here, he probably had the same type of, when we had the first table read, it was all on Zoom for BMF. So the first table read, and the table read is when the whole cast comes together and like y'all read the whole episode and just, you know, so the studio can hear what it sounds like and everything, blah, 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 right? So the whole cast is there. So it's all on Zoom or whatever. And I'm seeing stars that for me, like, these are legends. You talking about Steve Harris, you know what I'm saying? You talk about Wood Harris. You talk about Russell Hornsby. You talking about people that are like, oh my God. Then TASHA Smith, you're like, oh my God. And then 50 Cent come on screen. I said, no. You know what I mean? But look, for me, it's like, you know, you got to act like you've been there before, though. Yeah. So, you know, I'm chilling, you know, on the screen. So on the screen, my face is like, So I turn my video off. And I took my phone out. I'm like, look at that, y'all. 50 Cent. 50 Cent right there. Hey, I'm on the Zoom with 50 Cent just so y'all know this real. Like, it's me right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just like to be in his presence was amazing.
Wow.
All right. Then for him to recognize like me as a part of his show, which, listen, man, usually when 50 Cent's posting you on his page, it ain't the best. like usually you don't want to get posted on there, dog, because he's usually saying you owe him something. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, like when 50 posted me on his page, it was like, it felt extremely surreal. It felt like I was being recognized by, it felt amazing to be recognized by like the boss, by the person who kind of is the docent of this experience. And like the fact that he posted me and like said positive things about me, and this was completely unsolicited. And so first, let me just give you the sequence of events. Okay. Because I'm doing laundry. Okay. I'm doing laundry. I'm folding clothes, which I like doing. And
you like folding clothes?
What? It's very therapeutic.
See, you should have said that as the weirdest thing.
But that's not a job. That's just my life. So, but I love folding clothes. So I'm doing laundry, whoop-de-whoop, and I'm on, you know, whatever. And I seen 50 Cent. It said 50 Cent followed you. I said, oh. So I had to make sure that it was 50 Cent and not 50 cent or 50 Cent plus or 50 cents or 50 plus cent. Like, no, it was 50. So it was 50. So I was like, oh. So I screenshotted that. Wow. 50 Cent followed you. Boom. I was cool. I put my phone. I put my phone down. I was like, that's it. That's all I need. That's all I need, bro. Put my phone down. Whoop-de-whoop. Then my little brother was like, hey, man. 50 Cent posted you on his page. I said, what? I said, hold on. So, I put him on speaker, go on my phone. I said, he posted me on his page. I said, oh! So look, man, I had that audible reaction. I said, oh my God. So I screenshotted that. And then I sent that to all the homies, all the immediate homies. So it's about like 5 immediates, you know what I'm saying? So I sent it's like 50 Cent posted me, 50 Cent posted me, 50 Cent posted me, right? So then one of my homegirls, she was like, bruh, he just posted you again. I said, no, he didn't. So then I go on his page again. I was like, oh my God, twice? And then this one was actually like a good picture of me. I said, whoa, that's crazy. So I screenshotted that too. So I screenshotted that and I sent it to my mom. I said, Mom, 50 Cent posted me twice. And she's like, he's posted you again. I said, no, I already know, Mom, he posted me twice. She's like, no, he posted you 3 times. I said, Lord, hey, listen, man. You talking about like, okay, look, man, there's very few moments that you're like, this is kind of what it's about. Like those type of experiences of like true, like innocence, like innocent joy. Like I don't want nothing for that, man. I had already done my job. Like the show had already came on. Like I'm already thinking like that's what it is. I'm actually kind of depressed right now because I'm like, damn, the show came on. I ain't got no other job yet. Like, damn, girl, like what you about to do? And then that sense of like recognition. Like and that's what I'm saying. Like to be recognized for what you do. Whether it's I feel special when I'm recognized from just my peers, from the homies.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I really do it for. I really do it for my homies to say like, hey man, I like when you did that. That's my favorite role of yours. Like I love when my friends are able to say that. But then from somebody that you can actually kind of like revere and be like, yo, 50 posted me and said I was good. What?
The caption is important.
Caption is important. So yeah. So yeah, that was dope. Hey, yo, 50, I appreciate you, big dog. You the one. They killed me, but it's cool.
You still live on today and in this space for sure. I know we want to open the floor to some of the audience if they got some questions.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay. Hi. I noticed you were wearing a crystal on your wrist. I just wanted to know what stone that was from. I can't really see. I think it's tiger eye, but I want you to talk about, if you don't mind, what that represents for you, what it does for you, and how did you start your journey with wearing crystals?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you see, I'm stoned. I'm stoned up. But this is my tiger's eye right here. This is by far my favorite piece. Tiger's eye helps with your third eye, helps with being grounded, helps with your sense of self-being and intentionality. So I usually wear this when I'm going into spaces where I want to be intentional, and I know I'm have to speak legibly. So so that's why I brought that. But I've always been one to like really, I love the earth. I've always felt really connected to the earth, the sky, the moon, the stars, the ocean, the wind, the trees. Like I'm really one of those people that like at the best moments of myself, I feel extremely connected to just the physical realm of the earth. So anything that I feel like can help me connect to that, I'll champion that. So I just wear those. And for me, it's just like, I'd rather wear these than diamonds. Yeah.
I think we have another question.
Yes. How did any of the stuff that you were going through with mental health either positively or negatively affect your work?
Oh yeah, thank you for that question. Let's start with negative first, because I think we're all drawn to negativity. Most human beings, like there's been studies done where human beings are usually drawn to negativity more than positivity. So that's usually where we tend to go first. If you notice about when you see anything joyful, generally, for the most part, the very human thing to do is kind of dumb it down, to kind of dim the light or kind of be like, try to find something wrong with it, right? So I noticed that in my darkest moments and my deepest moments of self-neglect, I would question everything I would do. So I would start to get auditions, and I would have anxiety attacks about my auditions because I would be like, well, they're not going to hire me anyway. So what am I doing this for? So this is a waste of time. So if this is a waste of time, then does that mean that all the studying I've done is a waste of time? If all the studying I've done was a waste of time, then does that mean that what I'm doing right now is a waste of time? So should I just stop acting so that all my other acting jobs not mean anything? And then what it does, it makes me question, okay, so why didn't I get this last part that I felt like I was so good for, but they didn't even say no? Like, also, I want to say that as an actor, when you're auditioning, you get a call for yes. You do not get a call for no. You just don't hear anything. So you send in your audition. If it doesn't go your way, you know you didn't get it by somebody not telling you you got it. That's just what it is. And so with that can leave a lot of questions because you want to know why, especially when you feel like you're capable. Sometimes I used to tend to think that like my belief in myself was also like the thing that was the biggest detriment to me as well, is because I believe so strongly in my capacity and my ability to achieve any type of character that when I don't get roles that I feel like I'm right for, it would make me immediately question that and would make me immediately doubt that that thought was true. And so what I would do is I would find ways to validate all of my negative thoughts about myself. Oh, well, maybe it's your eyebrows, or maybe because you ain't got no beard, or maybe because you don't have this, or maybe because you need more of this, or maybe because you're too tall, or maybe because you know what I mean? So then the things that people would like say that were my like positive attributes, I'm like, well, they're probably working against me then, you know? And then it started working for me because without those times, I wouldn't really be able to communicate with people effectively on triggers and effectively on how to, I don't know, just like the importance of loving yourself. I needed to see what it was like not to love myself in order to understand the necessity for loving myself. You know?
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'd be like that. You know, it's like I don't wear this hat for no reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to talk about being intentional.
Yeah.
Like this was an intentional choice to, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to love myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to put it in there. Yeah.
I think we got one more question.
What inspires you?
What inspires me? Honestly, man, people like you, like young folks trying to get it in.
Yeah.
Other people inspire me. Like, excitement inspires me. I love when I see other great work done. I love when I see honest work. Like, good work inspires me. Like, and artists that are true inspire me. Being genuine inspires me. And even knowing that there are other people that have had negative thoughts like I have inspires me, because it lets me know that there's something that I can offer that can maybe, I don't know, inspire somebody else or help move somebody else. So I'm inspired by the human condition.
Wow. I mean, today you were definitely inspirational.
Thank
like
you.
I think you dropped a few path quotables that
You
we
got
are
one
going to
more?
have
Oh.
on our set. But I think we have one more question.
Two more? Oh,
Number one, I want to thank you for being transparent. Number two, I want to tell you you are enough.
thank you.
And you mentioned being from South Central LA, so I know we all hear about the gang culture. You said you weren't a part of it, thankfully. But how do you navigate staying on your path and still pursuing your career and your dreams with all of that surrounding you?
Oh, well, one, thank you for that, because like being told you are enough is serious, and you got to be able. I had to even learn to be able to accept those types of compliments. So thank you for that. Yeah, I wasn't in the game, but yeah, like I was surrounded by it. I have family members that were in it. I have homies that were, unfortunately, casualties of it. And I think that my way of not kind of getting entrenched in that was just like, I value my life. I was kind of a scary kid. I wanted to live. So like, I was just like, I wasn't trying to put myself in danger. And so with that, like, I didn't own anything red because I was raised in the Crip neighborhood. So I didn't own anything red until I went to college. And like, we're talking about like, I bought my first item of clothing with red in it when I was 20. Wow. Because I was seeing people get popped for wearing red, having red shoelaces and a whoop-de-whoop. So I just didn't rock with it. And I think, but now I'm so grateful for where I was raised and how I was raised and people I was raised around, because I can literally speak to any type of person. I feel comfortable in any type of environment. Like, I was raised in South Central, but my mother intentionally put me in school that was in West Hollywood. So what I would do is she would drive an hour every morning from South Central to West Hollywood, like literally right off Sunset and La Cienega. Talking about right in the midst of it. And and I would get like both worlds. And what it did, it allowed me to be able to speak to any type of person, feel comfortable to any type of person, and see people as people. So like, I can really, really sit and listen to you and speak to you and not think about, I wonder where you from, or I wonder if, you know what I'm saying? I don't, it's not like that, because I feel comfortable. So it actually ended up being one of my biggest strengths. I'm very grateful for it. Yeah.
We have a question over here.
Yeah.
As someone new or unfamiliar with the creative space, can you tell me what SAG is and your thoughts on joining it, what it means to a creative's career? Yeah, for sure. SAG, the Screen Actors Guild. It's the union for actors. Yeah, it's basically just be a protection, man. You know, you can get health insurance through SAG, dental. It's a little expensive, but you can get it though. Look, man, listen, SAG is cool. It's a cool resource. They have events, they have committees, they have things about the world that help you kind of ingratiate yourself in the space, so you can kind of learn what it is. Is it a pivotal aspect? Listen, man, I think that it's kind of an overstated element of the craft in a sense, because it's gonna come if you're doing it. You get what I mean? Like, if you work in the actor space, you will be a part of SAG, and that's just what it is. I wasn't SAG my first 2 jobs. I didn't become SAG until my 3rd job, when I had to become SAG, because you can only work a certain amount of jobs before you some called SAG eligible, and there you called a must join. Because you have to be under the union, and then you also make more money when you are a part of the union, right? So, yeah, man, it's great. You get residuals through SAG, you get all these great things, but what I would say is just you have to just get into spaces first, right? And you also have to find like, what aspect of the world do you want to be in? You might not want to be in SAG. You might want to be in the Writers Guild. You might want to be in the Directors Guild. You know what I'm saying? So you have to find like, what part of you want to be in? You might, because listen, I know a lot of people that started out wanting to be actors, and they're something else right now. They're PAs, yep. They're writers assistants, they're directors assistants, they're production assistants. You get what I mean? So I would just say to anybody that's trying to just find their space, find themselves in the world, I would say, one, learn the many different jobs that are out there, because everything that you see on television is a job. Like, there's a job for it. There's a job for the lights, there's a job for the costumes, there's a job for the hair, there's a job for the makeup, there's a job for the set, there's a job for everything. So like, find where you fit. How you want to Anyway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you,
I think
y'all.
on that note, that's a great time for us to wrap this episode. I mean, yeah, this was great.
Thank you.
You was real, and you was you. Right?
That's all I can be. And
a lot of times that's hard when you see the cameras, the lights, and the expectation. Yeah. But she was like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to y'all real like this.
Absolutely. And look, and that's another aspect of it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be an actor, you gotta bring you. Because nobody can do what you do. And you can't do what anybody else does either. Like the only way you're gonna be of value is if you are yourself fully. And that's just what it is. So
y'all better take that path quotable right on to the next episode. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and thank you again.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Georgie, then discuss, her rapper, messy colors. Na 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 na. Do that. Never become business. I love Afro Georgie, then discuss, her rapper, messy colors. Na 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 na. Do that. Never become business. I love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Love it when you couscous. Couscous. Love it, love it when you couscous. Love it, love it.